All right, guys, welcome back to Willow Creek. For our next renovation, we are working on the Garden Essence lot today, which you can see here in front of you. As you can tell, this lot is a lot larger than the others that we've worked on so far in Willow Creek. So there's lots of backyard space, so definitely a little more outdoor furnishing this time around. Let's go ahead inside and take a look at the house in its original state, and then we'll make some updates and see what you think. So when we first walk in, we got our living area off to the right of that front door, and then our kitchen straight ahead with a long countertop and bar, and a little dining table off in that little window alcove there. Bookshelf behind us. If we head off here, the first door on our left is going to take us to our deck outside. So we have our little table and chairs here, lots of yard space with some gardening plots and some benches to hang out. And of course a little grill out here on the deck. Heading back inside, let's take a look at our rooms down this hallway. This is actually a 3-bedroom home in Willow Creek. So the ones that we've done before have been at most 2 bedrooms. And the one that was a 2-bedroom, I even cut out one of those bedrooms. Just sacrificed it for a big kitchen. I still say it's worth it. Alright, that's one of our bedrooms. Still pretty big in size. Here's another. And although it's narrow, there's still a lot of room in here. So we've got a dresser, desk, a bookshelf, and a bed. So still lots of room in this narrow bedroom. I would say this next room here is probably the master room. It's the largest in this lot. So lots going on there. And then another fairly large bathroom. Okay, so again, definitely the largest lot in Willow Creek that we've touched so far. I know there are going to be bigger ones coming as we move about in that world. But as of right now, this is the largest lot that we have worked on. Next, we'll be working on that blank lot in front of us and building something custom there. So I'm excited to get into that. But before we do, let's go ahead and get into Garden Essence and see what we can come up with. All right, straight away, we're going to hit this outside. I always like to start with the outside so I can kind of get a feel for what I'm looking for style-wise. I went with a green siding on this. Took me a while to set on a roof, though. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do there. Updated those columns to white. So I really, with using that darker green siding, which I really love, I wanted to brighten up the front, so I wanted the white columns instead and some white stairs. The one thing you will notice is I actually did not start, I don't believe, hopefully I didn't just lie to you, on the front porch. I didn't. Okay, good. So after I updated the siding and the outside, I went in and just deleted everything that was originally there, so we could start fresh, completely empty home, so that way we could put our own spin on it. So after that, I did do a little bit more outside work, looking at how can we update that fencing a little bit. I wanted it to be brighter, so I went with white. I really have a thing for white, I noticed. Speaking of my things, guys, I know that I tend to use a lot of the same styles in most of these renovations. So my challenge to myself this time around was actually to see if I could convince myself to use things I don't typically use. So you'll notice me taking a lot more time looking through items, trying to find items that I didn't typically use and find a way to work it in with the style of the home. You can already see I'm going with a darker wallpaper than generally used. I actually really like this wallpaper, but I don't use it very often. So here I am looking for furniture. I've literally never used those two items there before. And you're going to find out here in a moment that I still haven't used them because I placed them and then I decided I just can't do it. I don't like them. I didn't like the way it turned out, so I ditched them. I do love the way that rug, though, looks with the wallpaper. And I did put darker wooden floors in there as well. So here I am still looking for furniture that I don't typically use, so these are out of my norm as well, but I do like them. So I'm very pleased with the way that this house turned out for being, you know, maybe a little bit out of my comfort zone when it comes to a different style than I'm used to decorating with. So I'm pretty pleased in that sense. Maybe you guys can give me some tips on other styling ideas as well. So I added a little half wall here because I wanted to throw the kitchen on the other side of it. So kind of reverse of what the lot originally looked like, where I just put the living space is where their kitchen used to be. And where their living space was before, you'll find that that's where I'm going to end up placing the kitchen. I'm trying to find some decor to kind of liven up that little half wall there so it wasn't just the TV. Now we're going to get into the kitchen. You'll see I changed this around quite a few times as well. I don't think I really stick with this exact layout to start. I don't think I change it too much, but I do kind of play around a little bit. I really love those cupboards. I'm probably guilty of using those a lot. If you watched my failed attempt at the starter budget house, I think I used those same ones except in blue, if I'm remembering correctly. So I really do like those style of cabinets, but I did try to use them in a different way to make it a little bit different so I wasn't just, again, copying my same old patterns. Wanted to keep it a little bit interesting for you guys and kind of make myself get out of my comfort zone a little bit with styling. So here you can see I am moving some of those cupboards around, countertops as well, trying to figure out how I'm going to put that dining table in. I really wanted to try and keep the bar in there because they had that originally, and I thought that that was something kind of cool that I don't normally use, or don't use in every build, I should say. But I do end up ditching it in the end for this kitchen because I just couldn't make it fit in a way that I liked or that I was happy with. So I'm adding some columns here, some pillars, and this is purely decorative, so there's not going to be anything inside those. I just kind of wanted to add some depth to this room a little bit. So I added these brick pillars there with a little bit of a white wood paneling behind that desk space. Just something, again, something a little different, not cookie cutter compared to the other builds. End up putting a big window there so you don't even get to see that cool white planked wall that I have there, but I like the window better. It kind of opened up this dark room and gave it some more sunlight. You'll notice I did renovate in the nighttime, and the reason for that is purely for the lighting. I wanted to make sure that the lighting and the lights themselves that I placed in the room worked, so I renovated in the nighttime setting. Sometimes I find it harder to decorate during the day with the different types of shadows. So when you rotate through those cycles, you get very different lighting, very different colors based on the shadows of your walls and things. So I kind of like to try and avoid that as much as I can. Now that the kitchen and living room are done, I moved on to, it looks like, changing this outside door, and then I started the bedrooms. For anyone who knows me personally, my least favorite color in the world is red. I apologize if that's your favorite color. I just don't like it. I do like a deeper maroon red, but I don't like bright stop sign red. So I definitely had to get rid of that for myself. And I decided to go with something almost plain in here, plain white walls with a plain wood floor. And I wanted the decor in the room to speak for itself in here. So that's kind of why I went with plain colors. So hopefully I got that intended effect. You will notice I did throw some red walls over in that next bedroom because when I first deleted the red, I was like, okay, Barbie, we said we were going to step out of our comfort zone with this house and the styling, so you are going to make one of these rooms red. So that's why that's over there. And you'll find that I did keep it despite the fact that it's not my favorite color. So I say that's a win for me. Adding some decorations here. I loved those lighted curtains on those big windows. I thought that turned out really cool. Now I'm playing around in this corner trying to come up with a neat maybe little dressing area. I think I toyed around with a lot of lights and options here and ended up not using any of those large ones. Added a dresser and a mirror. Now I'm just adding some comfy space, some sitting space, maybe a reading area or something like that in that corner next to the window. Have a blank white wall still, so that's not going to work. If this room is going to speak for itself in decorations, we need to put some more in there. So I was looking for some shelving and some things to put on those shelves to kind of give it more character. Of course, I used the Show Hidden Objects sheet to find more options out there. Next, we're looking at the bathroom. Again, another large bathroom, kind of like the one in Daisy Hobble. So this time around, I did, I think, a better job. I can say I'm happier with the way this bathroom turned out as compared to the other one. Not that there was anything wrong with it. I did end up liking the Daisy Hobble bathroom in the end, but it wasn't my favorite when I was actually building it. So here I'm using a dark blue wall with an accent white brick wall. I think I end up switching them if I remember correctly. I couldn't figure out how I wanted this laid out and it just wasn't working the first way I tried it. So I moved some things around, moved that white wall over to the right hand side to be able to fit that in better. Put a dark wood floor on there and just kind of layered some rugs. Just looking for some decor to put in there just to spruce up that wall. Guys, you gotta save often. If you are not saving often in The Sims, then you are in trouble and nobody can help you if you lose your stuff. So make sure you save often. That's one of the biggest tips I can give. Alright guys, let's check out this red room. I didn't want it. I didn't want to do it, but I did it. Jumping out of my comfort zone, using the red. I ended up going for a red and black themed room. And I'm really pleasantly surprised with how much I like the way it turned out. So despite the color, again, no offense if you love the color red, but despite the color for me, I think this room turned out pretty cute. I really did end up liking the red and black combo together. Added a bookshelf, a little getting ready area, some photographs or wall art. And just trying to find some things. I wanted to fill up the rooms here. I love these photographs. I thought that was a really cool piece to decorate with in that room. Now we're working on the final bedroom over here. And I kind of mimicked the master bedroom with those corner windows. Here I wanted to go with something bold and bright. So I picked this fuchsia pink purpley bed color. And I forced myself to stick with it and kind of work around those colors within the rest of the room. Ended up giving a larger bed. I felt like we could fit that in there, so why not? If you can have the bigger bed, why wouldn't you want the bigger bed? I think this room did take me a little while to decide on some decorations. So I added a shelf here with that up lighting, and I think I ended up taking that out actually. Okay, so I thought about putting that wardrobe in there. I haven't ever used that wardrobe before, so instead of a dresser, I thought that was kind of a nice difference. Again, mirroring the master bedroom a little bit, putting a little cozy, comfy corner over here by the windows. Had to fight with these decorations to get them to sit where I wanted them to. I thought it was so cool that I found this little potted plant that matched that bedspread, so I had to throw that in there. I really like that. Ah, yes, there we go. I thought I took that shelf out because I found that big painting in there and I like that. Here I was just looking around, making sure I didn't miss anything on the inside of the house before I went outside. So now we're heading outside to do some decorating out here. Of course, we definitely need to have that table and some chairs out here because we're going to be spending a lot of time out here. I do believe it looks nice. All this yard space, we need a pool, right? If you're going to have that much yard, you should have a pool. So that's the way I feel about it. And so we added a pool in here. I don't often build pools in my Sims houses. I don't know why, to be honest. I think it's just something I don't generally think about doing unless I'm trying to get rid of a Sim. Don't judge. You guys know you've done it too. So unless I'm trying to get rid of a Sim, I generally don't build a pool. It's just not something that I focus on as much because it takes up so much room in the backyard. And I feel like for as often as I actually have them use it, it doesn't end up being worth it for me. But in this build, if I was living in this house, I would want a pool in that nice big backyard. So I definitely threw that in here, and I'm super excited with the way it turned out. I also did just a little bit of decorative landscaping in here. Put a little bird bath with some benches. Put in some gardening plots. Did a little bit more decorating on the outside on this deck. And I think that will do it. Just a little bit more here on the outside. I've told you guys I'm not great at landscaping, but I'm trying to get better, so I was playing around with that. Oh, I did go back and do the porch, guys. I couldn't remember because there was so much room out back. I didn't think I spent as much time out here in the front. But remember, in this neighborhood, I want them to wave to each other. I want them to talk to each other and have neighborhood picnics. So, doing all my double checks, and we're done. Let's take the tour. Okay, so we just saw the lightly furnished front porch here with a little bit of landscaping on the outside. Let's walk in the front door. Much different than the original because now we're walking straight into the dining and kitchen area. Lots of open space still though. So a little more formal as well. Much more seating at the dining area. So before there was just that small table back there in that little nook where those windows are. So that's now where our living area is. Quite spacious. Definitely a different style than I've used in previous lots here in Willow Creek. Get you a view of how those pillars turned out. I kind of like it. Like I said, it adds some depth and character to the room. We'll go outside in a minute. Let's check out these bedrooms first. So here is the first bedroom. Lots of bright colors in this one. We're standing in front of the wardrobe so you can't see it, but there it is. Across the hall we have that red and black bedroom, and again I am surprisingly pleased with the way this room turned out, despite the fact that I'm not a huge fan of the color red. I actually do think it turned out quite nice. check out the master room. The master room's where we did the plain white walls with lots of decor. A little sitting area and dressing area as well. And then our bathroom. I really like this bathroom, guys. I feel like the bathroom maybe doesn't quite fit the decor as much of the rest of the house. It's a little bit more, I would say, modern style as compared to some of the other rooms in the house. But I really like it. I like the way it turned out. All right, let's head back out this hallway. Get another big look here at this big open living space with the dining area. I'm really pleased with this. I like it. I like the open concept. I like having the living space in the dining area close, so that way if someone's in the kitchen cooking, or someone's sitting at the table doing homework, someone's sitting on the couch watching TV, they can all be together still, and I really like that feel. Out here we're going to have our patio or our deck with our barbecue. I really went with that transparent fencing there for the same reason that I told you guys in the other video, that I feel like this neighborhood is open. They're friends. They wave to each other as they walk by. So I didn't want it to be super closed off and private from the rest of those lots that we can see that we've already renovated. I wanted it to feel kind of welcoming and airy. I did add a more private fence, if you will, around the rest of the yard since the pool is here, right? We don't need any creepy people watching us in the pool. So I did add some privacy there, and we can see our nice pool with our little stone wall here so they can climb and jump in, and our gardening area. So there's a lot that could have been done with this outdoor space. I really kind of went back and forth between, did I want to fill it with toys and swing sets and play equipment? And I didn't do that for the sole reason that nothing else in the house indicated that there were small children living here. All the bedrooms were probably more geared towards older children, more so than younger children. And so that's why I ultimately decided to not fill the backyard with that stuff, even though it's now available in the game. So of course, if you were going to use this house, which will be available in the gallery, you could certainly change that out. You could swap those benches out there for some play equipment very, very easily, and you could easily turn those bedrooms into bedrooms for younger children as well. So that's here for you on the gallery under Big Guns Barbie. This is the Garden Essence lot. The next lot that we will be doing is going to be this lot here. It's completely blank. It's a blank canvas for us. So if you have any ideas or suggestions for types of builds that you'd like to see on that lot in Willow Creek, please leave me some comments down below before I start building. Also, please share any comments about the house itself. I'd love to hear what you think about the decor that I use, the furniture that I used. If you have any suggestions for things that I could have done differently, I'd love to hear all of that. And of course, please subscribe to my channel if you're interested in following what I do with the rest of Willow Creek. I hope you have an awesome day. Happy simming.